Praise be to Jesus. Hi everyone. So let's continue here. October 27th, 2014. Pope Francis says, quote, "But there is a third group of Christians. They are lukewarm. They are neither light nor dark. And God does not love these." Wow. So he doesn't love lukewarm Christians? That's from Vatican Radio. October 28th, Pope Francis says, quote, "Jesus prays to the Father for us," unquote. That's Vatican News. Jesus prays to the Father for us. So I don't know what that means. When I first read it, which was before I started, I thought, well, so what? We don't have to pray? Jesus prays for us? All right, October 29th. Pope Francis says, "It's strange, but if I talk about these subjects, then the Pope is a communist, according to some. The fact that the love for the poor is in the center of the gospel is misunderstood," unquote. National Catholic Register. November 5th. Francis codifies Pope's ability to fire bishops. November 25th. It is reported in Austin Iverly's book, The Great Reformer, that Tony Palmer, an Anglican and longtime friend of Pope Francis, spoke to Bergoglio about whether he should become Catholic. Mr. Palmer described the Cardinal's response as, "Bergoglio told me that we need to have bridge builders. He counseled me not to take the step because it looked like I was choosing a side and I would cease to be a bridge builder." Yeah, well, putting all the religions together, that's the one world religion thing there, I think. November 29th, Pope Francis prays in Istanbul's Blue Mosque. Francis took off his shoes as he entered the huge mosque. Before bowing his head in prayer for several minutes facing Mecca, and standing next to Istanbul's Grand Mufti Ramir Yarenwit Muslim. Next to Islam. I guess that's a person. December 1st. Francis told reporters that he understood why Muslims were offended by many in the West who automatically equate their religion with terrorism, saying, quote, "You just can't say that, just as you can't say that all Christians are fundamentalists. We have our share of them, fundamentalists. All religions have these little groups," unquote. December 2nd, Pope Francis unites Hindus, Muslims, and Buddhists in joint declaration against slavery. Some Vatican News. December 3rd, Pope Francis fires the head of the Swiss Guard. December 7th, Pope Francis said, quote, "I'm constantly making statements, giving homilies. That's magisterium." Oh, jeez. It's his own personal opinion, is all that is, or more than that, that's the poison that comes out of his mouth. That's what I think, not what the media say that I think. Check it out. It's very clear. December 14th, Pope Francis says, quote, "I confess something to you. When I have seen a Christian with such rigidness on the outside, I ask the Lord, quote, 'But Lord, throw a banana peel in front of them so that they will take a good fall and feel shame that they are sinners,' unquote." Now, let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, we still got 5 minutes. All right, so we're going to start on 2015. Pope Francis says there are limits on free speech, and if someone speaks badly about his mother, they could expect a punch. That's from the Wall Street Journal. January 19th, Pope Francis tells Catholics they do not need to breed like rabbits. That's from the BBC. January 19th, Pope Francis again references a 1907 apocalyptic book about the reign of the Antichrist and the end of the world titled Lord of the World, unquote, by Robert U. Benson. January 25th, balloons replace doves at the Vatican as the Vatican symbol of peace. All right, January 27th. I guess maybe because balloons come in different colors. Well, you could have your own doves and, use some Easter egg dye or something, make them different colors. January 27th. Pope Francis meets with Hugs, transgender person dubbed, quote, devil's daughter. Quote, Francis told Larjarega in an initial phone call that God loves all his children, quote, as they are, unquote. He went on, quote, you are a son of God and the church loves you and accepts you as you are, unquote. So he was getting into that back in 2015, huh? God loves you the way you are. February 15th, Pope Francis slams, quote, prejudiced mentality, unquote, of believers who fearfully cling to religious laws. February 18th, New Age Ministry. A gay Catholic group gets audience with Pope Francis and VIP treatment at the Vatican for the first time. New Age Ministry, yeah. I think those the Canadian groups there, but that's a gay group or a pro-homosexual group or whatever. February 26th. Pope Francis arranges for a homeless man to be buried in the Vatican. Oh, boy. February 27th. Catholic publisher claims book theft stole... Catholic publisher claims book thief stole books from bishops' Vatican mailboxes. The publisher of the book on traditional Catholic marriage says someone apparently swiped up to 100 copies of the book from the Vatican's mailboxes of bishops who attended a meeting on family issues last October. The publisher sent the books to attendees to counter progressive opposals by one of Pope Francis's favorite theologians to let divorced and civilly remarried Catholics receive communion. The book, penned by 5 high-ranking conservative cardinals, argues that the suggestion is essentially moot since it is contrary to Christ's teaching on the insolubility of marriage. It's from the Associated Press. Oh, all right. Time check here. 9 minutes. March 5th. Pope Francis says in an interview, quote, I told the Lord, you are taking care of me, but if you will is that I die or that they do something to me, I ask you only one favor, that it doesn't hurt, because I'm a big coward when it comes to physical pain, unquote. March the 7th. While commemorating the 50th anniversary of the first time a pope celebrated Mass in the vernacular following the Second Vatican Council, Pope Francis said, quote, you cannot turn back. We have to always go forward, and who goes back is making a mistake, unquote. March 13th, Pope Francis said of his election, quote, they, the cardinals in the conclave, asked me if I accepted. I said yes. I don't know if they made me take an oath. I don't remember. Oh, the papal oath. I remember I did a video on that when I first, was one of the first videos I did. No, he wouldn't take that. Well, I mean, unless he just wants to lie, wanted to lie, but I don't believe he took it. I don't know if they made me take an oath. I don't remember. Okay, well, I think we're going to stop there because we're at 10 minutes now. Okay, all right, so March 13th, all right, so. Okay, so we'll talk to you tomorrow then. Bye.